Kurt Warner is here on the Rich Eisen Show on Disney Plus and the ESPN app. Back on ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance. My Hall of Fame friend Kurt Warner is here. All right, you don't have the X-ray in front of you. You're not right there to talk to Aaron Rodgers. But I'm just wondering if he does have that fracture in his wrist, in his non-throwing handoff hand, I guess. What are the challenges do you think that present his ability to play in a game that you know he wants to play in Soldier Field? You know he wants to do that, and he's already voiced that to Tomlin. What are your thoughts on the challenges that face him to get out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest challenge, just from a playing standpoint, would be, of course, handoffs. What are they going to do to that wrist? Do they have to cast it up, which would probably, go into part of the hand? And so, would he be able to grip the ball? We've talked about it, when I dislocated my left elbow, back in 2007, I handed off with my right hand in both directions. And so, I mean, without a doubt, that's something Aaron Rodgers could do, and I think get comfortable with. It didn't take long to figure that out. So that's a possibility. And then just, security of the football, with both hands, obviously, what does that mean for that? But again, when it's your offhand, and I would assume they do something to help with the pain part of it. There's not a whole lot that's going to, throw you off with, outside of those little things that I'm talking about.
Okay, and then obviously Caleb Williams, where do you stand on his development now, 11 weeks into the season, Kurt? He's
developing, which is, to me, the exciting part, is that you just want to see growth. And I've seen growth in a lot of different areas with Caleb in this offense, is, growth in him fighting to stay in the pocket and go through his progressions. Growth in what I loved, this past week, is that the stats weren't necessarily great. It wasn't a great offensive performance, but I thought he made a bunch of positive plays when there wasn't a whole lot there to be had. And that positive play might just be throwing the ball away instead of, running around and taking a big sack, or trying to, wing some 40-yard throw down the field. Or maybe that's just getting to a check down because, it's not clear to him. And so I thought he made a lot of positive plays in this game. And that, to me, is a sign of maturity, is that it's not, man, every play has to be a home run. Every play I have to, whirl around and run around and try to make a big throw. I think he's growing in all of those areas. There's still room to grow, being more comfortable with the progression part of it and being more fluid with that. To me, learning how to take something off the football. So many of his balls are fastballs, and they're hard to catch. And if they're off just a little bit, it's really tough on his receiver. So there's some growth I want to see in some of those other areas, but just from where he was last year and how he would get stuck on his reads and get stuck in the pocket and take sacks and not able to work through things, man, I think he's made a whole bunch of progress. And the beautiful thing is that they're winning while he's making progress, that he's not a finished product yet, and neither is his team, but they're still winning. They're finding ways to win, and he's competing his butt off, and he's making plays when they need him to make plays. And that's half the battle as you're going through this process of learning how to win and building the Ben Johnson culture.
Kurt Warner here on the Rich Eisen Show. As you know, in our years on NFL Game Day morning, we have a lot of fun with you asking if this is the most complete Chiefs team of the Mahomes era over and over and over and over again. I don't think we'll be asking that of you this coming week. Now the Chiefs are in that other barrel that we've been asking over the last couple of years, is what's wrong with the Chiefs? What's up with the Chiefs? Is there anything wrong with the Chiefs? I know I just asked you three different questions, but it's all part and parcel of the same, I guess, pew, right? So what is wrong with the Chiefs writ large?
Well, I mean, what's wrong, first of all, is that they're not dominant in any area. And, for a while there, they were dominant on offense, and their defense was middle of the pack, and they had to bring their defense along. And then for a while, it was the defense is really good, and the offense is kind of just picks its moments, and it's got 15, and they find a way on offense, but they were dominant on defense. Now, when you watch them, they're not dominant in any area. There is nothing to me that they do really, really well. And so they've got nothing to hang their hat on either side of the ball. And so when your offense is struggling, you can't count on your defense to just shut people down. And when your defense is struggling a little bit, you can't count on your offense to put up 30 points because they're not executing at that level. And I would start up front, really on both sides. They're not dominant. They're not able to run the football. They're not dominating in pass protection on the offensive side. Chris Jones doesn't seem to be Chris Jones. He's not dominating and taking over football games where he was that cog in the middle that really made things go defensively. So they're not winning in the trenches, which just, shows, everything else, all their other flaws seem to come out when that's the case. And as excited as they were when we were back in Brazil talking about this wide receiver group that they had and how they felt it could be their best group that they've had in a long time and all of that stuff, I don't see guys on the outside that I trust to win with route running, that I can build a good, solid, pass game, and I expect them to win the routes. These, to me, seem to be more speed guys, long speed guys that have to get down the field, and that's how they're going to win more than winning with the route running piece of it. And I think that's really hurting this offense is they're not getting easy opportunities. They're not getting easy wins, for Patrick Mahomes and in the pass game. And when you can't run the football consistently, it just leads to all kinds of messes. And yeah, every once in a while they can come together and, they can run these RPOs and they can get it to their playmakers and they can run after catch and it can look really good. But when a team takes that stuff away, and that's kind of what I've seen a little bit with the Bills and now with Denver, is teams are challenging their receivers and getting up and not giving them space where they can catch it and run. They're going to challenge them and say, beat me, show me you can beat me with route running and you can create separation and enough for Patrick to hit you continually and for you to hurt us. And they haven't been able to do that. And so that's something I'm looking forward to down the stretch, because obviously they've got their work cut out for them is how do they get better and how do they create some of those opportunities for those receivers and for Patrick when it comes to the passing game, because those guys to me just aren't winning in those one-on-one situations.
Sports Talk Radio question time. Kurt Warner. Ravens have won 4 in a row, and they've got some winnable games in front of them. The Bills just got 6 touchdowns from Josh Allen and beating the Bucks 2 weeks after they beat the Chiefs, all wrapped around one big fat clunker in South Florida. So, which team lasts longer in the 2025 season, all the way through to the end? The Ravens or the Bills?
Wow.
You call that shot right now. Your answer would be what?
I am going to call the Bills right now. And I think both teams have some issues. Both teams aren't hitting on all cylinders yet. And there's still a ways to go, because obviously we've seen where the Ravens have gone from where they started to where they are now and playing a lot better football. And you mentioned it. The Bills may be a little bit the opposite, where they started pretty strong and now we're kind of wondering. I don't know. I just trust them more right now because I've seen more of that, that good play by them, throughout the year. And so that really, to me, is what it comes down to. Not that the Ravens can't be that team. I mean, they've got all the same pieces that have, been one of the best regular season teams and did some things in the playoffs last year. So I know that's in there. I just haven't seen it come together enough with both sides that I'm fully confident in them moving forward. So I would lean more towards the Bills, even though I see some chinks in their armor as well.
Okay. I don't usually say this. Wrong answer, Kurt. Wrong answer.
Oh, yeah?
No,
okay. All right.
Listen, you don't think the Ravens defense is better than the Bills, the way that they've been playing? I understand their first 5 games were a hot mess. Their last 5 games have not been. Lamar is getting healthier, and the playmakers that they have certainly are, I know this is not a metric, are certainly on more fantasy teams than the Bills, and that's just a way to talk about, I guess, talent level, another way to describe that.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. When you go top to bottom from a skill set or talent level, on paper, as we always say.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why we said on paper that, the Ravens, came into the season as one of the favorites to go to the Super Bowl. But just because it's on paper, we always say that, right? Paper champions, looks really good on paper, but you got to translate it to the field. And even though they're winning now, it's not translating. It's not really pretty. Like, it doesn't look like a dominating football team. And so that's the only thing is I've seen the Bills when they turn it on, they have played at an extremely high level a number of times this year. And that's why I lean in that direction, even though I fully hear what you're saying and would not be surprised 7 weeks from now or 6 weeks from now, however many we got left, that we say, oh, gosh, Ravens are the team to beat in the AFC. It's just, to me, I'm too leery of, I've done it in the past where it's like, oh, this team should be, but they never show you, but you keep thinking they're going to turn the corner because they should be really good. And too many times I've gone down that path, and then I have to always step back and go, but they didn't show me that. Like, they never showed me they were that team. Why did I believe they were that team? And so right now, they haven't shown me yet. And so I'm just not a full believer that they can put it all together, and they will put it all together by the end of the year. As much as I said, they've got all the pieces. These guys, most of these guys have been there before, so it wouldn't surprise me, but they just haven't shown me yet. So I'm going to go with the team that's shown me a little bit more.
Quick hitter time, Kurt Warner.
All right.
There's a bunch of quarterbacks who aren't starting this week, and I'm wondering if you think they should return this year.
Okay.
At all. Jaxson Dart, should he return?
Yeah. I mean, if he's healthy, yeah, he should return. Just don't run as much. Like, yeah, tell him we're going to take those quarterback run plays out of the playbook and just play quarterback.
Joe Burrow.
No. I mean, again, this is one of those that I'm just looking not as a competitor. As a competitor, if you're healthy, you get back out there and you play, whether there's something to play for or not. I just look at it, I think, as a fan, and if I was in the organization, it's just like, we're not even going to take that chance. Like, we're not in this mix, really. We're just going to let Joe get healthy through the offseason, and we'll come back next year and hope that we can put this thing together. So that's why I say no.
Put you in his shoes, though.
I'd play.
Okay.
If it's up to Joe, if it's up to any of us competitors, and we get a chance to be out there and we're healthy and we're not going to, hurt ourselves or injure ourselves more because of it, yeah, we're going out there. Like, we're playing. I'm just being the cautious guy that isn't the guy that has to go out there and play. So I'm telling you that I would bubble wrap him for the rest of the year and get him 100% healthy and believe that next year's our year.
I understand that this is an obvious follow-up, and I kind of know what the answer is, but obviously Burrow, you know who he is. Don't need to see him. Dart, I think you know what he is too. And why would you want to put him out there at the risk of another concussion? Or now he's rehabbing something in January, February, March, as opposed to just go there with Jameis. You've already seen from Dart. Yeah. He's got it. I know you need to get reps, but at the expense of what, potentially?
Well,
right? For an interim HC? Right?
I think that's the question, for sure, is that nobody wants him to suffer another concussion, this year or anytime. I just think, again, because you're a young football team and it's a young quarterback and you're trying to build something there as a team. That's why I feel like, and again, I mean, if we feel like there's anything that, that could carry over from where he's been, this year with the concussions, then obviously not. I mean, no reason to, because you're not playing for anything. But I just believe as a young team and a young player, you want to get these reps and you want to grow, so you're in a better position when you guys step on the field next year. And so that's why, to me, again, if he's healthy and you're not worried about, any kind of setbacks there, you go play. And that's kind of how, I think all of us were when it came to concussions, is that we felt when we were fully healthy, that it wasn't subjecting us to another one. Like, obviously you could take another hit, but it wasn't more likely necessarily that you suffered another one. And so when that time came, he got back on the field. And
then, he's not playing this week, not due to injury. Coach's decision, Justin Fields. What do you think? Is that the end? Is this it? The Jets have made their decision, and for them to be in this position, season's over. They trade away their two best defensive players. They bench Justin Fields.
You mean, is this it for his time in the Jets?
No, I guess.
Or
should we see him again? Once he's out, I mean, doesn't that make the decision? Pretty much.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think it would be, you'd be hard pressed to think that he's going to go back in and start again this year. I mean, he's got a body of work in this offense, and again, barring,
Right.
whatever. I'm just saying, just to insert him back in there. I think is a tough sell right now. Doesn't mean he can't be the guy a year from now. But yeah, to me, it's a tough sell right now. If you've pulled him because, he hasn't played very well this year, to place him back in there instead of giving some other guys a chance, whether it's Tyrod or Brady, a chance to see what they are. I would be surprised if that were the case. And then I think, your bigger picture question is this it? I will be very fascinated to see what happens with Justin Fields now. Will he get another opportunity to be the full-time starter for a team? I'm not sure he will. I think it will probably come and you're going to have to earn this spot. So maybe somewhere where they don't have a solidified quarterback and he comes in and he competes and maybe he has a chance to earn it. But he's had a number of opportunities. I don't know if he's quite there yet as starter type material in the NFL. And I think he needs to grow and get better. And so it will be interesting to see what happens with him moving forward. If that's with the Jets, keeping him in that kind of a role, or whether that's, somebody else, taking a chance and bringing him in to compete.
And the 90 seconds I have left, the all-22 all-star of the week was who? Who was it?
It was Bryce Young.
How about it?
Bryce Young. And I love it. It's just kind of gradually just getting better and better and making more plays. And what a game. Over 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, made a whole bunch of plays for this team. And so, I mean, it's exciting. I mean, I love to see that picture right there because we all know where we were a couple years ago.
Heck yeah.
And what everybody was saying about him. And
last year.
Yeah. Was it just last year that we were saying that?
Kurt, we were there. And we were there in Munich watching him maybe just begin to get his job back.
Yeah. And I think about Justin Fields, who we just talked about.
Right.
And how a lot of these guys come into the league and they're not ready. They're just not ready to take on that position and carry a team and hold it down for a team. And gosh, we want to think and we tell them that they have to be ready, but they're not ready. And it takes some time. And so it's been fun to watch the ascension of Bryce Young. And I don't think he's there yet. But again, we're looking at growth with Caleb Williams, growth with Bryce Young and how he's playing every single week. And it's just, every week you watch and you're like, oh, there's some more of what I want to see. And there's some more of what I want to see. And so it has been fun to watch him grow and get more confident and make more plays. And I'm really excited to see what his future looks like.
Everybody check out analysis like that at QB Confidential, Kurt Warner's YouTube channel. That is must subscribe. Good to see you, Kurt. Good to see you, bud.
You too, buddy.
You bet.
See you this weekend.
That's it. That's Kurt Warner on NFL Game Day morning. That's what he means this weekend. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.